Hi, this is Brian Stillman with BeTerrific. We are at CES 2018. We are in the Venetian Hotel, the fabulous Venetian Hotel, and we are here to talk about Angee. We're here with Max from Angee. Angee is a home security product. Very cool. Does a lot of stuff. I'm going to let Max explain it. Max?
Cool. Well, Brian, thank you so much for having me. So actually, Angee's not a home protection product, but rather, or not a home security product, but rather a home protection solution.
Okay.
It is a very important.
Protection. This is important.
Home security is not sexy enough for a solution like us. So it's a automated home protection solution that respects your privacy.
Okay, so there's a lot there we need to parse, we need to talk about. First, let's talk about the protection component. What does Angee do? What makes it so special? Then we're going to talk about the protects your privacy part, because that that really interests me. You see a lot of things out there that are all about home protection, home security, but zeroing in on that, I really want to hear more about that. But first, what is this product?
Sure. So if we can try this screen out here.
Sure, let's go for it.
I want to start by talking about the way that these security tags work. So these security tags, you put them on the windows and doors, and they're actually able to protect the entire perimeter. So you can see here, you stick them on there, and it creates kind of a perimeter around, so the system always knows who's at home and what's happening.
You know, I'm going to move over here. This way,
Okay,
you can do your
sure.
screen thing.
Sure. So because the system always knows who's at home and what's happening, it's able to make intelligent decisions. And therefore, it's able to act in an entirely automated manner. So again, if we come back to the screen here, we've got this automated security. So here you can see I'm the actor, and I've got a very beautiful fake family. And as we go about our day, you'll notice that the system is seamlessly switching between various security modes. It'll be in security mode, it'll be in privacy mode, and later on, not covered in this video, it also has a night mode function where it's not watching out what's happening around the camera, but it is monitoring the perimeter. Because, you know, when you're asleep at night, you might need to go to the kitchen, you might need to go to the bathroom. But if your door opens at 3 a.m., that's something that you'd want to know about.
So what's it doing to monitor? I mean, you showed me the sensor here.
Right.
This is one sensor. Where would you place it? Do you get multiple sensors? How does it work? Literally, what are we doing?
So we've mostly started with the security tag. I need to tell you a bit more about Angee yourself.
Okay,
but let me start with the security tag. So the security tags sense motion. You put them on every conceivable entry point where someone might want to enter your home. So, you know, if you live in an apartment on the second floor or higher, you're only going to need one, because the only way that someone could come in would be through the front door. If you're like my sister living in San Francisco, she'd want one on her front door, she'd want one on her back door. She's got a window facing the street, but because there are protection bars on the window, she's not going to need one there. So that's kind of the way these work. They sense motion, and when they sense motion, they'll send out two signals. They'll send out an ISM radio signal, so that'll tell Angee that there has been motion and where it came from, so Angee will know back door's been opened. And then it'll also send out a Bluetooth signal to pair with the user's cell phone, so it knows the back door's been opened, and I don't know why, and maybe it's an emergency, or the back door's been opened by my friend Brian, and you know, all is good.
I'm totally there to steal your beer. That's why I'm there.
You're coming over for a chat, man. We're going to have some beers. Angee doesn't need to be concerned, and I don't need an alert.
And now that information is being sent to the homeowner's cell phone. How much info? What are they getting? What are they getting in that info?
Well, so when you're coming over, I'm getting nothing, because that's not something that I want to be worried about. I'm going about my day. If it's a known person,
yes, you do.
Yeah. Well, in the case of Brian, I absolutely want to know, and I want to call everyone I know. But if my wife is coming home, I don't need a notification when I'm at work that my wife has come home. It's annoying, and it makes me less inclined to respond if there's actually an emergency. Now, if there is someone coming who I don't know, this is something that I do want to know. I want to know immediately. So it's really key to make sure we don't have any false alarms, because if we don't have any false alarms, I'll know to take those notifications I get very seriously. So if I do get a notification, I get an alert, I'll be able to connect and see what Angee's seeing. Angee has 360-degree motion tracking. I guess I should have done that the other way, so it goes both directions. Spinning the bottom doesn't really do much. And this is a band here of infrared sensors here on the bottom, so any motion that's happening, Angee's going to automatically turn to face what's happening.
Okay, so this sensor is covering all the entrances.
Mm-hmm.
When it is disrupted in some way, in a non-authorized way, so it's not me coming over to hang out and have some beers, or your wife coming over, when it's someone here who might be looking to rob it, or whatever, something unknown, that is triggering an alert to you, but also activating Angee.
Absolutely. So these videos from Angee doesn't send, we'll get into this in the privacy section, but Angee doesn't send video to the cloud constantly, because we really care about privacy. But in this event, Angee would be sending and storing video on the cloud, as well as giving me the opportunity to view it on a live stream, as well as giving me the opportunity to call the police. There's a big red call 911 button.
That's really cool. And this unit is small, and it's actually as camera units go, it's really cool looking. You can see it right here.
I just was in the smart home section of the convention floor, and there were a lot of really cool products that had a lot of really cool looking functionality, but at risk of sounding a little arrogant, I don't think any compared in terms of sleekness.
Okay, so there's this camera located right here,
Yep.
and that can rotate. You can see that moving right there. And you said sensors on this band around
Yes.
the edge. What are those sensors doing?
Those are PIR sensors, so they're sensing for heat essentially, and they're also looking for like a human-like heat signature essentially. So while they're looking, they'll be tracking that motion's coming from this way, and that allows Angee, if you have follow motion or if it's armed, it'll be automatically following motion. It'll allow Angee to automatically track movement and see what's happening.
Now, I understand this does rotate. I get that. But what's the field of view on the camera? Because you're going to want to place it somewhere. Is it going to see the floor from your ceiling? If you have 12-foot high ceilings, let's say you live in a really spacious, palatial type of place, you got 12-foot ceilings or a double height ceiling in like a foyer or an entryway.
Right.
Does it have that wide angle to catch it all? What's going on there?
I haven't committed this to memory, so I might have it wrong, but I'm 95% sure it's a 147 degree angle lens, so it's pretty wide. We were doing an event at Showstoppers on Tuesday, which is a really cool media event. Got lots of great coverage. Thank you to everyone who wrote about us. And when it was over on that shelf, please don't show it because it's super ugly. There's a bunch of stuff laying around. But from the shelf, the people in this room will know that you could see from the bed all the way to the wall. So I think it's 147.
So it's wide. I mean, it's going to give you that coverage even when it's not moving, even when it's not tracking.
Even when it's not moving, it's like a very wide screen, wide angle.
So I'm curious. This unit. How many of the sensors does it come with?
So this right here, you're looking at a package that we like to call Angee Security, and this is kind of like the most basic package. And if you can imagine living in a studio apartment, this would be the only thing you would need because you've got one entry point to the front door, and then you've got a studio space, and this 360 camera allows you to see everything that you need to see. So Angee Security is this, and an important component is that this connects to the cloud. The cloud is where not only intelligence is, but also the ability to download upgrades for additional features and functionality that allows Angee to always get smarter. So if you want more security tags, like if you're my sister and you've got one other door to cover and maybe one exposed window, pretend the bars weren't there, you'd buy an accessory pack that's 2 security tags, and that'll allow you to make sure your entire perimeter is completely secured.
Okay, so talk to me about the privacy aspect. That's something.
To get to that.
Oh, absolutely, we're going to get to that. But I want to make sure we understand the tech. We understand what we're dealing with. We understand this is a home protection thing that it's out there. It does a lot of stuff that's really cool. But now there's this component to it. What does that mean exactly?
Sure. So there's kind of 3 pillars to our privacy. The first is that there's a privacy mode. Now, privacy mode is the default setting for when you're home. You can change this for various members in your household. You can also change this for for everyone if you so choose. But the default setting, because privacy is so important to us, is that it's in privacy mode, which means when you come home, Angee learns from these sensors, knowing where heat is coming from and happening. It'll learn over time where activity happens and where it doesn't, and it'll automatically switch in privacy mode to look at the action where there's no activity, so you never feel like you're being watched at home.
Wait, so does that mean it's learning my pattern as a resident of this home? So I'm living in this apartment. Is it tracking me throughout the day? Is it paying attention? It knows at 9 a.m. every day he's getting up, he's rolling out of bed, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 7 a.m., rolling out of bed, moving. He goes, okay, there's a room over there he goes to. Maybe it's the bathroom, take a shower, do whatever. Then he's got the kitchen over there. Is that what it's doing? How does it know that I'm following something that it's not supposed to be worried about?
Yeah, so it's not as sophisticated as you're putting it, but it's basically just always, these sensors are always on, the PIRs. They're just receiving input. So over time, it just learns these zones have activity and these zones don't. It's not like he just woke up, he's in the shower now. It's more just like the general activity takes place in this area. So generally speaking, if you've got it on a shelf that has a wall nearby, it's going to just learn that this area is a wall, and so it's going to automatically turn to face that wall.
Well, then how does it understand that the activity taking place in that zone A, whatever, that portion of the apartment is activity that's supposed to be going on? What prevents it from turning around and facing that wall when it's a thief who's come in and is moving through Zone A.
So keep in mind that Angee always knows who's at home, thanks to a combination of ideally the security tags, if it's used properly, but also proximity senses that it uses around itself. And it's using that, the first way to do it, because we all have one at all times. Of course, for the interview, I put mine on a chair so I can't take out my cell phone. But we all have our cell phones on us, and it knows based on whose phone is around, who's nearby. Now, in the event that your phone is dead, or if you, say, went for a jog and you didn't have it with you, you can use a voice password to identify yourself. But so basically, when it knows that known people are at home, it just knows to be disarmed and not really care about what's happening. And then if it is armed and all of a sudden it starts sensing activity, it knows to care about that activity.
That's really, really cool. Now, why is that privacy function important? Why is it something you were concerned about? Why turn to the wall? Why not just be like, well, who cares? Who cares if it's monitoring? Why is it important that it decides, okay, I'm not going to look now?
Sure. So I'll get to that in a second. I want to first elaborate on a little more about how the privacy works. So in addition to the turning to face the wall, Angee has two-way communication, meaning that, if I am away and I want to open up the app and see what Angee's seeing and someone is there, say my daughter or my wife, I can communicate with them directly through Angee. Okay. Now, with privacy mode engaged, the person at home has the ability to accept or deny that call. In addition, unlike many other options out there, Angee is only sending security threats to the cloud. It's not constantly streaming and saving storage. You can't just say, record my living room for the next year and keep it on a server. Now, the reason why we take privacy so seriously is twofold. Number one, we're just, great people who think people should have their privacy respected. Two, from in an entirely self-interested point of view, when you look at study after study, being at a convention like this at CES, and you go around, it seems like, oh man, everyone has all of the connected devices and all the smart home things. What an impressive selection. But when you look at the typical person in America, user adoption has really been limited to those early adopters. It hasn't really penetrated the mass market. And study after study shows it's because people are uncomfortable with the prospect of their privacy being invaded. They don't want to be watched by a camera. They don't want to feel like they're being listened to. So in addition to us being, just great people, we also saw a real opportunity in the market there.
Now,
I want to put this down. It's weird to keep holding.
So tell me, it's called Angee.
Yes.
This is a question we had before we even started. It's a question on everyone's mind. Why is it called Angee? Where's that coming from?
Man, here's the big reveal. I kept you waiting. So Angee stands for Autonomous Guard. So A-N-G, and then we wanted to give it a human personality behind it. So from A-N-G, we got Angee. I hope it didn't disappoint.
I don't want to say anything. A name's important, but I was hoping it'd be, someone's girlfriend, someone's mom. But you know what? That's good too. Look, this is a great product. We've seen all sorts of things at CES. I love the security this provides, the protection it provides, and the autonomy and the privacy is great. Listen. We're wrapping up. We're getting close to the end of day 18 million at CES 2018. This is Brian Stillman with BeTerrific. Great stuff. Oh, sorry, one last question. Where can people find out more information about this?
www.meetangee.com.
See, it's so late, I'm even starting to forget. Stick around. We've got more coverage coming to you from CES 2018. This is Brian Stillman. We'll see you soon.